All right, guys, so we got to talk about a story that you're not going to see on the mainstream liberal media. And no, I'm not making this up. If you take a look at CNN's front page, what are they talking about, right? They're talking about Ukraine, okay? They're talking about Trump, right? They're talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, except what probably, in my opinion, if the narrative fit, would be the biggest story in this country, which is a BLM trans activist who committed a mass shooting, okay? Because you know the media, they love mass shootings, right? Every time a mass shooting happens, it's an opportunity to blame the Republican Party for why the mass shooting happened. Instead of blaming the actual person, the individual, they want to blame the Republican Party, they want to blame guns, and that is the narrative they're going with, okay? In order to deflect from having to talk about Kimbrady Carriker, who, again, happens to be a trans woman who is also a BLM activist. So this person, you know, to at least some degree, probably woke, committed a mass shooting where this person seemingly committed a random act of violence, okay? They just snapped, okay? And they end up shooting 5 men dead and injuring 2 children in Philadelphia. Now, again, this is what this person looks like. You can see their pictures here. Clearly, this individual is, you know, hey, they're living a different type of life, right? And that's fine, okay? But let's talk about it, because this is a mass shooting, and because the suspect, again, happens to be black, and they may or may not like the genitalia, the mainstream liberal media is ignoring it, right? But we're not going to ignore it. We're going to talk about it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and play a news clip so you guys get a better idea of what's going on here. Take a look.
Larry Krasner is calling the mass shooting random, premeditated, and deliberate. Jeff, what else are you learning?
Well, not only did Larry Krasner and his prosecutors say that the alleged shooter in this case was acting more and more agitated in the days leading up to the alleged attack, but that he was seen in the house wearing a bulletproof vest and in his hands the gun alleged to have been used Monday night. In the Salt and Light Church of Southwest Philadelphia, the sisters of 31-year-old Joseph Wama speak of their brother, slain Monday in the mass killing in Kingsessing that shocked this violence-weary city. One sister speaking directly to the accused killer.
You shot yourself, Jasmine. Just try to calm down. I know it's hard. We know.
Nothing but anger. It's nothing but anger. I'm sorry. You killed the wrong person.
The gathering in the church was called by DA Larry Krasner, whose prosecutors say a search of accused killer Kimbrady Carriker's home turned up live rounds of ammunition matching the weapon he's alleged to have used in the slaughter, killing 5. Along with a handgun, they found a will written on June 23rd, but would not speak on its contents. They did say the 40-year-old's housemates believe he was unraveling in the days before the shooting.
I believe they thought he was getting more and more agitated as the days were passing. And their way of dealing with it was just to avoid it and not interfere with him, even though they all lived in the same house.
Investigators say the housemates report Carriker would walk around wearing a bulletproof vest and carry the AR-15 military-style weapon he's believed to have used in the rampage. Investigators say he posted threats on social media, and although identifying as male, has been pictured wearing women's clothing, prompting threats aimed at trans women.
They are not killers. They are the most vulnerable to violence. They want to live their lives, and they have every right to do so.
The DA says the investigation is ongoing as Carriker is charged and the families mourn.
One thing I really love and admire about him, he had a great sense of humor, and I'm just waiting for him to say, hey, this is a prank, but it's just like, it's hard to wake up from this.
Now, public officials are urging the residents of this city, the public, that if they see somebody acting in a dangerous way, which they believe this man was, if they see posts on social media that they think are threatening, they ask the public to call them, to alert them, but they seem to understand the inherent fear in all of that. In Southwest Philly, Jeff Cole, Fox 29 News. Folks.
Jeff, did the DA's office say what he was growing more and more agitated over in the days leading up to Monday's mass shooting?
They did not. They are quoting and responding to what his housemates have said about him. But they do say that somehow he was more agitated, that for some reason he was inside the home wearing a vest and brandishing that gun. They all knew of the gun. Why he was agitated, why he was acting in this way, they simply have not said at this point.
All right, Jeff Cole, thank you.
Yeah, so again, apparently CNN, right, does not think that this story involving a mass shooting is front page news, okay? I mean, you don't have any stories about this whatsoever, okay? But they're talking about Trump, okay? They're talking about Trump. They're talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. But this mass shooting, which is still fresh in the news, apparently that's not newsworthy, okay? According to CNN, that's not newsworthy, okay? And you have liberal outlets like Vice running these headlines right here because apparently it is transphobic to point out the identity of the shooter. Okay, they said the far right is already using the Philadelphia shooting to smear trans people. Now, they also note that there is no evidence that the suspect was trans, and he posted repeatedly about his pro-gun stance and his support for former President Donald Trump. Okay, so I want you guys to understand. They're trying to make a BLM trans activist seem like a Trump supporter. And according to Vice, there's no evidence that this person was trans, even though there are pictures of this person wearing a bra, okay, wearing a bra with braids, with earrings, looking like a woman, okay, and his name is Kimbrady, okay, which, I mean, that to me sounds like a woman's name. Who knows? I'm just saying. I mean, it seems to me that even the local media was afraid to call a spade here. I mean, this person clearly is trans, right? And I don't want to deny this person their identity and, you know, the way they wanted to live. But again, it's just funny because they did this during the Colorado mass shooting. When the suspect comes out as trans or non-binary or LGBTQ, they want to deny that person's identity, their reality. But if you are a conservative and you speak on this issue and you say, hey, men are men and women are women, you're a bigot, right? But again, it seems to me that the local news and Vice, the liberal media, they're engaged in bigotry by trying to sweep under the rug the fact that this person was trans, which in my opinion, if this was a white male that randomly shot and killed black people in the street, this would be the biggest news story in the country. Not only would it be the biggest news story in the country, but all they would be talking about is this person's identity, right? That's what they would be talking about. They'd be talking about how they're white, how they're male, and how that played into the mass shooting, even though their skin color probably had nothing to do with it, or the fact that they're male, okay? But hey, that's the narrative that they're going to push. White male, okay? That is why it happened, because white males are inherently dangerous, okay? But when it's a trans individual who happens to be black, no, we have to play the victim card, right? No, you don't understand. Trans women, especially trans black women, are the actual victims, right? They're the actual victims. And you're not supposed to say anything about this person's identity. You're not supposed to make connections with their identity and why this happened, or else that's hate speech, right? That's how this goes. And it's just, again, it's amazing to me the stories that the media chooses to care about and what they choose not to care about based off identity politics. It's extremely obvious, right? Instead, they want to focus on what they feel like they can get a win out of here, okay? Because this is an L for them, okay? This is an L for their narrative, okay? This is an L for their narrative. So what they do is they say, well, this guy, he liked guns, right? This person liked guns, so therefore, you know, this is about guns. But it's not about what, you know, this person was going through, okay? What was going through their mind, okay? You gotta be careful because you can't say certain things about people who, you know, have a certain identity. YouTube might say it's hate speech, but in this case, this person committed a mass shooting, so I think that it's fair to question what was going through this person's head, right? And, you know, maybe, just maybe, they had thoughts that just maybe this person should have seen a specialist, okay, to help resolve some of the issues that this person may or may not have been going through, right? They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to focus on that. They just want to focus on the guns. So without further ado, let's read a little bit more about this to get a better understanding of this person and what they may have been going through, okay, or what may have been going through their head prior to committing this mass shooting. Police said the 40-year-old male suspect was armed with a rifle, pistol, extra magazines, a police scanner, and bulletproof vest when he fatally shot 4 men on the street and then chased and killed a 5th man inside a home. A 2-year-old boy was shot 4 times in the legs, while a 13-year-old boy also suffered gunshot wounds to his legs, according to cops. The gunman had fired at police as they chased him for several blocks before he eventually surrendered in an alley, Police Commissioner Daniel Outlaw said. Carriker also described himself as a computer engineer and showed an interest in guns, posting pictures and memes of people with firearms. One image featured a person holding a pistol with the caption, quote, "Wherefore art thou opposition, so I may slide upon thy block and runneth down on thee." Yeah, so I mean, this is what this person actually went and did. Another one of his posts showed footage of several kids firing off rounds from a rifle. In May 2020, Carriker also posted a video to his Facebook of a burning Philadelphia police car that had been daubed with graffiti, including ACAB, an acronym for, quote, "all coppers are B words." I'm not sure exactly what it is. And caption it, quote, "I was there, where were you? Hashtag we matter." However, it is unclear if he had filmed the video himself. The shooter, who was taken into custody without incident, didn't have any connection to the victims prior to the shooting, Outlaw added. Carriker's old roommate, Tina Rosette, 49, told the Inquirer she was shocked to learn of his involvement in the shooting. Yeah, so this person clearly has issues, okay? But again, what the mainstream liberal media wants to focus on is the fact that, you know, this person allegedly, you know, liked guns or whatever, okay? And, you know, there's some history behind it. But I think more so than anything, you know, I mean, look, I think it's fair to ask questions about, you know, did this person need some help, right? Did this person need help? Okay, why is the media deciding not to cover this? Why are they sweeping this under the rug? Because we know that if the identity of this shooter was basically anybody else, you know, straight white male, this would be the #1 news story. But they want to cover it up, okay? They want to say that you're hateful for simply pointing out facts, which is that, hey, this person was trans, okay? They got a problem with it when you know, the person's black or trans, point out their identity. Again, they love pointing out identity when, you know, the narrative fixed. But you say, hey, this person was trans. This is one of numerous mass shootings that we've seen over the years that have been committed by people who, you know, have a certain ideology. You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, is it fair for us to start asking questions about what is motivating this, right? Why is this happening? Because again, if it was a straight white male, that is what the conversation would be about, right? That is what it would be about. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.